the universe. Cool. Rise and shine, sir.
Rise and shine. How do you hear me?
Very clearly, sir.
Outstanding. If I might say, rise and shine, this is the United Nations call. Welcome to the United Nations and all of the nations that are classified and that has already been indexed, that has already been identified as the United Nations. We know there's 198 of them. As we can recognize, still we do not hear the name the United States of America. The reason why, because the United States of America is not a nation. I don't care what it says, and it can go on with making statements like it don't recognize the World Court, and it don't recognize this, and it don't recognize the Gulf of Mexico, and it don't. The United States of America can make all of those statements that it wants to. At the end of the day, they make no decision. All of the examples that the world has followed, that the so-called United States of America has had in the past, is a thing gone. It's gone. It's in the past. It will not come back. Every nation now is beginning to recognize that even though a lot of the nations pattern themselves after what is known as the United States law, the United States don't have a law. Never has, never will have a law. The rule of law is that the United States of America came about during a time was none other than what we might classify as being a stolen season. A stolen season. The United States of America has placed itself on a level whereby many of the nations around have patterned themselves as an example because they believe that that nation was a powerful, worth nation that had wealth. And everybody only did it because like 90% of the people that index themselves, and we have to be honest and truthful about that, 90% of the people that index themselves only index themselves for money. They're looking for a monetary value, a monetary goal. Why majority of the people on the planet index themselves to be, you might say, monetized, funded. So we need everyone to understand that this is not what indexing is all about. We need to also get the whole entire universe to recognize that. You're not going to get any wealth whatsoever until you honor the laws of the land, which starts out being the common laws based upon the ecclesiastical laws first. The ecclesiastical laws is the laws of God. That's what the ecclesiastical laws represent, and that's what they are. That's what the reference is. The laws after that is common laws that comes by way of God. Man. He gives those laws to man, and man will be those who will have to implement those laws and also live by those laws. Last but not least is the international laws, which combines everyone on the planet in a manner where he or she must conduct themselves based upon the ecclesiastical laws, based upon the common laws, based upon the international laws as the rule of law to work together for the good of this universe and humanity. That is what this is all about. Some people still haven't even looked up the definition of ad hoc. They have no clue what ad hoc judge means or the ad hoc court means. They have no clue. That's why we have so many people rushing to judgment now. As Donald J. Trump has become, I guess, the villain for the universe now, he is a little bit lost in his own would-be world of wanting to be hero, but he has to also recognize the fact that he himself, 90% of the time of his life, he don't even know what he's doing. He's just basically carrying out something that he hears inside of his head that he believes that some would-be invisible man is talking to him about conducting it or implementing it or initiating it. That's what's happening to him. Then he is nothing more than a sixth angel for everyone on the planet. And this is the United Nations call. Please get this. Donald J. Trump is nothing more than a sixth angel on this planet. The sixth angel is not Jesus Christ. The sixth angel is not God of the universe. The sixth angel is no would-be dictator on this universe. The sixth angel is only the angel that will cause all nations to war. And that is what's happening right now. So no one should be surprised. Surely I can tell you that YAHOSHUA is not a bit surprised. If all of the nations out there that want to protest against Donald J. Trump and whatever he's doing, that's great. At the end of the day, I think you're doing exactly what the scriptures have already said you would do. You're supposed to be protesting. It's only going to bring on a larger degree of people who are going to be in disarray, you're going to be in chaos, and you're going to be in confusion, and you're going to be in disagreement, which brings on for a greater war, World War III. So keep right on protesting, all of you crazy 1,000 people, and I did call you crazy, 1,000 people in every would-be city and every would-be nation now. You go right ahead. You're just going to build the momentum of this World War III, and I say I can't wait until you get there. I'm going to rush you into it. You need a war right about now. And if you think you want to bring it to me, go right ahead. I'm waiting for you. I am going to be greater than what you believe that Donald Trump could have ever been for you. He's the sixth angel calling you to war. I'm going to be the seventh angel that I'm going to end your war my way, where I'm going to be victorious and you're going to be a loser with a big L on your forehead. So get ready for it. What's happening because it is, again, it has already been written. And your holy book and my holy book and the world's holy book has already been written, and there's no way around it. So we go right ahead and try to find some weak way of bringing some vaccine in, might be able to cure everybody of their anger. It is not going to happen. So stop it. For all you deranged people out there that think you're going to be able to find some peaceful harmony world before World War III ends this world, before the Battle of Armageddon ends this world, keep thinking, because it's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to smooth nothing over. You're not going to be able to get on your knees and talk to some God that's going to save you out of the trouble that you're about to go through. The only God of the universe is the one that's going to place you in this trouble, so there's no way around it. Get ready to go through it. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Get them out, Mr. TDJ, because they're not getting it. Why don't you go back to around the year of 1998 and start talking to them about getting ready, getting ready, getting ready. So what they better be doing is getting ready. There will be wars and rumors of wars, but the end will not be yet. I know. I got a lot of doubters out there. You keep right ahead. Go right ahead. Doubt me. At the end of the day, I don't have to prove myself to you. You have to prove to me that I'm not who I say I am. That's what you got to do. I can tell you now, that's just not going to happen. So don't waste your time. I already know what I was sent to this planet to do. I know what I was sent to this planet to be. And you, anybody else that you might be able to link up with, Chinese or any other way that you might attach yourself to them, is not going to change anything that I'm saying. Get ready. Now, I know a lot's going on. And Miss Le Pen, again, I say she don't have anything to worry about. She was just judged and found guilty by a group of men that can't even judge themselves. They don't have the slightest understanding of what they really actually charge her with. That's why Mr. Trump is talking about it. They have no idea of what they charge her with. No idea. They didn't charge her with being a female. They didn't even charge her with laws that might be of the righteous or the unrighteous. They have no clue what they charge her with. Nothing. You want to know why? Because each one of them standing at a fountain with a would-be so-called bag of rocks wouldn't be able to cast one stone if they had to be answering the same question she had. In other words, they would be found guilty right along with her. So I tell them to shut up too. Nobody's in no fear of no so-called European nation or any other kind of nation. Get it through your head, Canada. Nobody's in fear of you. And nobody you might put in charge. You can't get it through your thick head, your thick skull. You're the one that's responsible for 90% of the world's big disaster right now. So just shut it up. Nobody's in fear of you. You go right ahead. You send your goons to come see me, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to your nation. Every nation that deems themselves to be above God, I am going to break the very backbones of your nation and your nation leaders. Get in my way and you'll find out. Go ahead, threaten me if you want to. I've already told you what's going to happen. You came to the table and you agreed with me. You disagree with me now because you listen to Mr. Obama. You could be listening to Mr. Clinton. You could be listening to Mr. Bush. You could be listening to Mr. Trump. At the end of the day, you go against what I'm doing, and I guarantee you that all of them and you too are going to suffer what's going to be at the hands of this world called World War III. Get ready for it. Put them back in charge. You think they can help you? They didn't do anything for you. Obama didn't do anything 8 years in his so-called with the administration. He done nothing to fix the world or to change it. He messed it up, but he didn't do anything to fix it. You go right ahead. You find anybody you want to and you put in your leadership position. I guarantee you, they will go nowhere. So every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that he is who he say he is, and there is no other. You send your Supreme Court to talk to me. You send your local courts to talk to me, and I guarantee you, at the end of the day, they too will bow their knees and they will utterly understand that they control nothing. They can't even control their own bowels. How are they going to control the world and the people that's in it? Don't waste my time. We don't have it. I keep telling you I don't do numbers, but I do time, so don't waste my time. This is the world right now. I ain't speaking nothing more than the divine providence over this planet, whereby everything that I say out of my mouth will occur. There's nothing you can do to change it. And if you think you're going to close my mouth, whereby my tongue will be I would say, bound to the roof of my would-be upper mouth. I need you to understand, I don't have to be making this verbal communication with you for things to happen. It's already been played out in my heart so many times before, until my heart will play nothing more than sounds in which you would have to hear still, because it's going to be beautiful music. Get ready for it. Scientists are running around now talking about they done found some existing drug that turns in human blood into nothing more than mosquito poison. Kill off a few mosquitoes. At the end of the day, if your blood is killing off mosquitoes, it will only be a matter of time before your blood will kill you off. So don't be ignorant. You should understand that even mosquito spray, when it's sprayed in a closed environment with you in it, you're going to get sick and die too. So shut up about your so-called would-be antidote to some mosquito bite. You know, when people start paying attention to what's really going on around, we won't have a rush of judgment of ignorance. Now, in Texas, the Texas AG, which is the Attorney General, he is now investigating a place called Kellogg's. Kellogg's is nothing more. They make cereal. They make all types of cereal for eating early morning, rice, honey, apple juice, pop, Kellogg's cornflakes, through the loop. They make all of these would-be brands. But you need to understand. Let me help you out, Mr. AG, Attorney General of Texas. Yeah, I know who you are. You know exactly I know who you are. Let me help you out. I'm not angry with you, but I need you to understand that you might want to do more than just investigating Kellogg. You might want to investigate every product that's in the United States of America right now. Because you're using what is classified to be bioengineered, there you go, bioengineered products. Bioengineered products, you read the back of Kellogg, every last one of them, no matter what brand they're carrying now, other than Kellogg, with all the sugar snacks, the would-be so-called Jacks and all those other names, read back of it. It has changed as would-be so-called regular would-be. The ingredients have been changed. It's not the same as it was before. And now it says, these products contain bioengineered, there you go, products. What does that tell you? You could die from a simple apple. And they tell you in the United States of America, apple a day helps keep the doctor away. You could die in the United States of America now from eating an apple. You know why? Because the average apple in the United States of America right now contains bioengineered products. That's right. They grew it from bioengineered products. That's what happened. Well, stop it with the talking about one would-be so-called brand. Every brand in America right now has been contaminated. Every brand. Those that are saying organic have been polluted with a bioengineered product. They grew it that way. It was a bioengineered product, the seed in which they threw in the ground for it to grow. And they didn't throw it in just any ground. They threw it in the ground in a laboratory. So it grew from that. It looks like an apple. It smells like a plum. It even merges like a tomato. But at the end of the day, it's bioengineered. It is a hyperactive. Yeah, they already know that. They already know it. It's hybrid optic. That means that it's not real. It looks real, it smells real, and some of them even taste better than real. But they are a product that has been engineered in a laboratory. So people getting people. You wise people out there who don't believe that death is inevitable, go right ahead. Keep testing it. Keep practicing on trying to stay alive when you're killing yourself all alone. You people just don't get it. Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit concerned about all of you that call yourself being human beings right now. I don't see too much being human about you. You don't think too wisely. I don't know where you got those brains from. They must have been processed in one of those would-be Kellogg would-be cereal. That's where they get it. You know, in the melanated world, excuse me, the United Nations, I can't talk to the melanated world because the whole entire United world has got a mixture of melanated people all over. Believe it or not, melanated people outnumbers everyone on this planet, whether they want to believe it, whether they want to even express it. Melanated people, my people of color, outnumber everybody on the planet. Those that classify themselves to be the majority. In other words, I'm talking to you white people. You don't outnumber anybody. You know, you can go to certain nations and you will find no white people on it whatsoever. None. You will find none. I guarantee you, every nation, every planet you go to, you will find that there are melanated people of color already there. It always was, it always will be. You white people, you haven't been around that long. And I don't care about them trying to pretend in Europe that that's where life started from. You have to understand that Europe wasn't always white folks there. Europe, once upon a time, yes, it was there, and the people, they existed there. Those people were black in color. That land was called UR, Earth, the land of Earth. Not EUROPE, but it was UR, period. That meant the land of Earth. That is the land that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob first started from. That land wasn't floating across some would-be so-called eastern would-be hemisphere where it classified itself to be separate from the north. So stop it. All of that was done by some deranged, crazy white boy who decided he wants to write history for himself to make himself look like, because he's in a pink skin, that it made him period of all other things on the planet. So stop it. We're playing games and get serious about the world and what we're doing right now. I know it's a lot of you Caucasian pink brothers that get angry when you hear me saying that, but I can tell you what, you can't change it. Excuse me, you done hung, whipped, killed enough niggas, but you haven't changed the fact that the world still has them and they're still multiplying, while even you yourself is beginning to lose your nationality. You begin to lose your people. You want to know why? You couldn't keep your daughters in the house. You couldn't keep your would-be so-called hard-headed sons in the house. You decided to go out and find some dark meat, and now you feel threatened because you even losing yourself would be so-called identity based upon that alone. Don't become bothering me and bugging me about your would-be so-called heartaches and your trouble that you're going through in your personal life with your family. You look around in your house. I've already told you that. I told you this back in 2010. I told you this back in 2005. I told you. Look around your kitchen table right now. You see that little black boy that's just sitting there to your right, and that little black girl that's sitting at the head of your table over there that you're calling your grandson or your granddaughter? They don't look like you. So you better wise up and realize that it's only a matter of time before they grow up and overthrow your old crazy stuff out of the house. You better get ready for it. But they're going to inherit everything that you got, whether you want them to or not. I'm just giving you a warning. You can stop it so you understand that you're about to get your last stop in hell. And you're going to have to get off the bus in hell. You're only going to have a one-way ticket, so don't be talking to me like you're going to be coming back to get me. You're going to have a one-way ticket to hell. When that bus stops, you're going to get your old white self off it. And you're going to be riding up front of the bus, and you might be just driving it. You're going to get off that bus in hell. And that boy's your ride's going to take you. I'm just telling you the truth. I know I'm angry at a lot of people. No, I don't sound like Martin Luther King. I don't sound like Malcolm X. I sound like someone in between them. One day I'm Malcolm, one day I'm Martin, as far as you're concerned. I need you to understand, I brought you the justice of the planet. I brought you the final would-be outcome of what you're about to have to deal with in your life and the life to come. Get ready. We got so much else to put out. I just had to get that off my chest and out of your mind, so you'll understand that ain't nothing you can do to change what's going on right now. And Donald J. Trump is going to stay in place until he gets through doing nothing more than calling all of you would-be rednecks out there around the would-be so-called united world for war. And you're going to fight that war, and you're going to lose it. So get prepared. You're on the losing side, and you're going to lose. That's what's going to happen to you. Meantime, I'm going to give you an opportunity to think about what I'm saying. You might want to switch sides faster than a hurry, while I do nothing more to give us all a short break. We're looking around at everything that's going on right now, and I have to say to even my colleagues like yourself, be patient. You know, right now, this time that we're living in, for the whole entire universe, I'm going to say something, and I know the United Nations is listening. I don't think the United States of America hears anything that I'm saying. Nothing. It's all about the P's right now. There's two P's that we must totally be concerned about right now in the U.S. of A. And I just find it fascinating that all the other nations up on it and America is still lost. Those P's are called perseverance and patience. Let me repeat that. Perseverance and patience. America seems to not know anything about perseverance, and they have no clue what patience even means. They don't know the definition of patience. They don't. The United States of America, they cannot convince me that they understand the definition of patience and perseverance. They can't convince me of that. They have no patience, and they don't know how to persevere. They want everything fast, faster than a hurry. Got to do it right now. You should have did it yesterday. Yeah, you could have, but you didn't. Because you didn't have patience enough to take your time and get it done. Now, you got to wait, and you got to have a long wait for it, and you can't wait. perseverance, and patience. The United States of America, please, for yourself. It's for your sake. You talk about democracy. You have no clue what democracy is. Nobody in your government knows what democracy is. If they did, they wouldn't even be classifying themselves the government right now. And they would realize that the democracy rolled out when they finally got off their prison with the caves and cages there in a place they're now calling the United States of America. They wasn't sent there to build a new nation. They wasn't sent there to build a new world. They wasn't there. They wasn't sent there to help the people who was in that land learn how to do anything. They went there and they were prisoners. Those people that bought them and allowed them to be housed as prisoners decided to make friends with them because they felt sorry for them being locked up all the time. And they let them out. And from the moment they let them out, they realized that's why Europe had locked them up and sent them to a 4-point place where they didn't have to deal with them anymore and didn't have to see them anymore if they didn't want to. Those people, those generous people, those kind-hearted people, those people who needed nobody to give them a law because all of them worked together for the good of their community and for the good of their nation, realized just why Europe dumped their trash off on everyone else's lawn. And those people have proven to be everything that Europe said when they were getting rid of them. They were the trash of all trash. I'm not afraid to say that. John Adams, trash. My John Quincy Adams, trash. Ken Van Zandt, trash. I'm just talking about your first and second presidents right now. And it went on and on and on. And believe it, all of those men were not the original presidents of those nations that were already there. You have to understand, I'm not about to tell you all the other. You go ahead, you do your research. There was 8 melanated men that were running that same area before any white man ever showed up on his doorstep. And it was fine. It was a perfectly ran place. All the other nations was already doing nothing more than trading, importing and exporting was going on. Everything was fine. There was no tariff. There was nobody classifying anybody as being a terrorist. Nobody was fighting with anybody about anything stupid. And the wars that was going on in those own nations amongst their own people. How the Europeans ended up in what they now call the United States of America on somebody else's land, being nothing more than thieves and murderers, just the reason why they were sent over there and being locked up. It's a fact now. Every nation is now done recognize that. Every nation has history. Every nation is reading and studying that right now. So no one is lost the truth anymore. Once upon a time, it took 3 days at least by letter, 3 to 5 days, that we might say, exactly, it took to get one letter of lie to another would be down the street. I had this conversation with someone just the other day. I had to explain to them, do you understand that even inside the United States of America, in the same city and on the same street, it took at least 3 to 5 days before you could get a message to the house next door. Because normally they made you write them a letter. They didn't want to hear from you. You couldn't stop over their house, don't be knocking on my door, just send me a letter. This letter would leave from out of your mailbox into the hands of a mailman, would drive all the way back downtown, place it into another box, where it would only filter its way back into another mailman bag that would end up at your door 3 to 5 days later. That was the way America communicated at one time. And it seems like now, because the information can get from one would-be person to the next in less than a few seconds, if that, it's more confused now than it was then. So that's the way America operates, in ignorance and chaos and confusion. America has, I know, and this is what the fuckers don't understand in America. It's my white folks. Something you don't understand about black communities. Communities right now don't understand that about themselves. You want to know why? That's why now we got Bloods, we got Crips, we got all these different would-be so-called gangs that's fighting against each other. You want to know why? When they were first set up, they were set up to protect their community and their communities only. They went from realizing that they had to protect their own community from white people, but they had to protect their own community from each other. And the reason they started protecting their own communities from each other is because those others that were in their communities were dealing and being around those white folks and catching nothing more than the lies they were talking about that everybody was doing. They began to fight each other behind one copper-going Caucasian white man's lie. And they have not to this day stopped fighting about that same copper-going Caucasian white man's lie. Let me help you out what it was. The white man made them believe that the dollar bill was sweeter than blood. It was greater than blood. It was greater than tips. It was greater than anything on the planet, the $1 bill. They began to kill each other off for that $1 bill, and they haven't stopped yet. Not even recognizing and realizing that $1 bill has no value. And as soon as the white man showed us that dollar, and it's dead now. And no matter how many of your own that you kill off, no matter how many people up the street, no matter how many people that you have divided your street off from another one block, everybody's got an O block, a B block, a C block, and an A block. I need you to understand that you just keep dividing those blocks off, and you can understand that that $1 that you're killing each other off for belongs to a white man, and it has no value, and you would have killed no reason at all. I'm giving you the truth. Help them out in the United Nations. You're beginning to realize that. The United Nations right now have wars going all over every nation, or every other nation is at war right now with each other. It all stems around nothing more than a $1 bill that has no value, and all of them recognize that now. But now all of them are receiving things they call tariffs. These tariffs, of course, they can't purchase nothing. They can't do anything unless they add some taxes to it. Just tax. Everything that the UK have done in the past would be so-called 200 years. They're taxed by what? 30%. They claim it's only 10% when they really tax them 30%. I need you to understand this today. That China woke up and it's going to tax the United States 30% on everything that it has received from them. I don't know the last time America checked, but I would say anywhere from about 40 to 50% of your would-be so-called gross national product, on the back of it says made in China, made in Hong Kong. How ignorant can you be taxing some people when they start taxing you for selling or having in your possession things that's made in Hong Kong or made in China? Don't be stupid all your life. And I guarantee you, the average would-be golf club bag, or the average golf club that Donald Trump is carrying, more than likely say made in Japan or either made in China. So stop killing yourselves off. Stop destroying yourself. You can't play golf, you idiot, unless you get it from them. And if they start taxing you, maybe you got enough money to purchase that bag in those clubs. But you need to understand, better golf players than you are don't have that kind of money to be spending on a pair of golf clubs. So you need to wake up before you start tariffing people. All the congressmen that there have no clue why they're either against the tariffs or they're with the tariffs. They don't have no clue why they're there. They can't explain it like I just simply explained it to them. They just now got it from me as I just now spoke it to them. Other than that, they had no clue. No clue whatsoever. It's simple. As Dr. King once told them, you have to understand. He says, before I get up every morning, he says, I consider the cost of what I'm going to be dealing with. He says, by the time I get to my table, where I'm getting ready to have my breakfast, he said, I look around my breakfast table and I realize that I have had to deal with every nation on the planet before I even consider eating my breakfast. He says, I washed my face with towels that came from the Pacific Islanders. He said, I washed my face with a towel like that. He said, by the time I sat down at my table, and you have to understand, bacon, pork right now, is heavily, I would say, employed or imported from a place we call China. Bacon. A lot of you love bacon. You love pork sausages. And yeah, for all of you blonde-haired females, sausages and pork come from the same animal. I need you to understand it. Ham, it comes from the same animal. Pork chops, it comes from the same animal. I just need you to realize that and recognize that before you go off talking about you don't eat bacon and I eat ham. It's the same animal. So sit down and be quiet. Wise up if you might. You got to understand. I know. There are some blacks out there that is just as blind as you are. They don't know that either. They haven't recognized that yet. They think pig feet came from a cow. I don't know where the animal they think it comes from. They don't even know it comes from a pig, too. Even with the name telling them pig feet. They don't think that's the same meat that comes from the same animal that they eat bacon from. Say with me. I'm just helping you out. I'm helping everyone out. So you can stop it with the would-be so-called, well, why are we having a war with them? Why are we worried about trading and exporting and importing? We got our own stuff. No, you do not have your own stuff. If you did, you wouldn't be on the planet if you had your own stuff. You don't have your own stuff. You can't even use your own currency. So stop. This is the war that I'm not trying to stop. I'm telling you, I know they're going to happen because you got so many of your leaders that you put in charge. They are brain dead. You have to admit, you put some brain dead in charge of you. And a lot of your leaders, they don't know. They have no clue that they come from the same animal that those beef ribs do. They have no clue. They have no clue that hamburger, ground up hamburger meat comes from the same animal that those beef ribs and those steaks come from. They have no clue. I'm just giving you the truth. So before you start placing people in leadership positions and classifying them to be all so wise and have so much wisdom, you might want to check them out personally. You might want to visit them. Because when they start sticking on the table, when they stick up the beef ribs and tell you they came from a pig, you might want to get up and leave their table. Yes, you might want to leave. When they stick up some ground sausage and tell you that it's ground beef, you might want to get up and leave their table. But they won't have a clue about anything else on this planet that's going on. Now, the reason I'm saying all these things is because right now with the wars brewing, with the wars picking up momentum, it's not going to be no one on this planet that can stop it. I can assure you that YAHOSHUA, I did not come to stop him. I came that everything that man has implemented may and shall and will be fulfilled. I need you to understand that I came not to the world to change the law, but through me they might be fulfilled. That's what I'm going to do. So if they want to set up a law that they're going to say that if a life is taken, that everyone should face the would-be so-called death penalty, they need to realize that for every life that's lost at war based upon their ignorance, they are going to be held accountable based upon, they are going to consider that to be them having to give a life for a life. That's what's going to happen. And we have to make them give their lives more than 8-10 billion times over. That's what's going to happen to them. That's what they're going to feel while being punished. That's what's happening right now, people. Get it. Understand what's going on. We're all right now at the rat race. The rat race will not end until every nation recognizes it, first and foremost. Second, every nation is going to sit down and negotiate with each other. Not this would-be statement of peace, where we know that every time they say peace, there shall be war. Like right now in Russia and Ukraine. Everybody wants to blame Ukraine for the missiles that they're saying accidentally going off course and blowing up things. And you want to know something? Listen to me, United Nations, because every United Nations representative have become more wiser than they were in the past. Now they're asking for the pieces of those missiles to be brought to a location where they can examine them. And when they examine that would-be now nomenclature that's on the side of those would-be missiles, and it has a little staple there that says U.S. of A., nobody has to ask the question, where did that missile come from? Either America fired the missile or Ukraine fired the missile. The reason we know that is because the United States of America gave Ukraine missiles. Now, either the Ukraine accepted those missiles and they're now firing them to protect themselves, or they gave them back to America and America's firing them to make it look as if though they're using the missiles to protect themselves. Nobody cares how it's being done. At the end of the day, those missiles have a now nomenclature on the side of them, and they find little pieces and they match it. Those little pieces still say that it came from an American missile, not from a Russian missile, not from a Ukraine missile. This is what Donald Trump was warning everybody when Joe Biden was out there passing out missiles like he was passing out supplements to babies. That's what he was trying to explain to them. You give out so much of that equipment, you give it to so many people. When those people decide to start using it, you're going to be the one that's going to be looked at as being identified as those who sent those would be so-called pieces of equipment. So it's going to have your nameplate on it. It's going to have your make of metal on it. It's going to have your design on it. It's going to have the wiring that came from your nation. And you're going to be the one that's held accountable for those things. And what Donald Trump was letting everybody know, when he was so busy being happy and up and doing celebration, that he was sending all these things to Ukraine like Ukraine was going to use them honestly. That's what he was trying to explain to everyone. Mr. Trump, I say again, is still making mistakes, and I'm reaching out to him. I've already told him when he gets ready to sit down, when we have a face-to-face conversation, just like I gave Barack Obama an opportunity to do, and he refused to do it. He neglected to do it, and that's why he right now needs to sit down somewhere and shut up and age gracefully, why he can still be able to at least think sensibly. He needs to get his home life straight with Michelle or whoever it is that everyone says he's married to, and stop worrying about trying to dibble and dabble into what is known as the United States of America's business. Get your home business fixed. I've already instructed everyone I know. There's no way you can take care of anyone unless you take care of yourself. And I say, you have enough problems Mr. Obama, fix yours first before you try to fix the United States of America. Let me help you out also. You've already had 2 terms in office. You come back to try to do another term in office, you will be classified addiction. You will spark a world war even larger than the World War III that's already going on right now. Because they will come to get you, especially if you're a black dictator. So stay at home and be quiet. Faithfully calm down. Do what Mr. Clinton is doing. Be friends with your successor. The successor that takes over, you better be friends with. You don't see Mr. Trump talking to you about anything you've already done. He's talking about Mr. Biden. And I would say to him, drop talking about Biden because he's a thing of the past right now. You don't have to worry about him again. And he definitely won't be seeking a second term. I'd tell him in office. If he did, I would tell him he would be crazy, as he is. I wouldn't even think about it if I was Mr. Biden. Obama, take a page out of Mr. Clinton's diary, whatever you want to call it. Take a page out of it. Sit down and be quiet and stop talking about your successor. You don't see him talking about George W. Bush. You don't see George W. Bush talking about him. That didn't even happen when they were still in office. Once Mr. Clinton left office, once he left, he was not around talking about what Mr. Bush was doing. They made friends quickly, and they got quiet. You didn't see Mr. Bush even talking about you, Mr. Obama. No, he made friends with you, and he gracefully bowed out. You just keep running your mouth about a successor that now has succeeded you 2 times over. So you might as well shut your mouth, move on with whatever would-be church group that you done got involved in, that you done found God and finally want to clear your record. You can get into heaven. You need to get with them and have Sunday would-be so-called services and Wednesday night prayer meetings. And you don't need to be out there talking in public like you can change anything. Your time is come and gone. And I'm saying to all the melanated people out there that still listen to Mr. Obama, you better get off that morning bench, and you better realize that either you got to get yourself baptized, or you better leave this thing that you call Christian movement to Jesus Christ alone. Because you don't know God yet, but you will if you don't get out of the way and be quiet and stop following him, because he is not a preacher. Neither is he of your would-be so-called nationality. He can't relate to black folks if he wanted to. He spent too much time in the white neighborhood. Excuse me. We must move on until victory is won. United Nations, declarations have gone up. The wars are happening as we so speak. They will not be able to be stopped. They will not be able to be deterred. They will not be able to be confused or camouflaged or any other would-be type of matter that one might want to present. It is going to happen because it is the prophecy of the universe, and the prophecy will take place. World War III, followed by the Battle of Armageddon. We must move on. We got work to do. I looked outside my window, and my work must go on. I'm rising and shining once again. Man must work while it's still day, for a night coming, no man can work. My work must go on, and bless. My days are becoming longer than my nights, and I'm okay with that. As for you, I would say to you, believe it or not, the same thing is happening for you. Your nights, they will get longer if you don't heed the warning or the voice in which you've been heard. Meantime, get your rest. You're going to need it. United Nations, I love you. Peace and love, and nightfall.